Okay, so we have the laptop right here. So yeah, let's leave that to the end. So as you can see, I ended up going for the 15-inch MacBook Air with the Apple M2 chip. And this one's pretty much the base model. So it comes with 8GB of unified memory, 256GB SSD, and I ended up going for the midnight blue color, which is obviously the best color out there in my opinion. We get the braided charging cable that comes in midnight to match the color of the MacBook Air, but I really do wish that Apple considered making this white tip in blue just to match the overall design. But overall, there hasn't been a major change to the charging cable, so it's pretty much the same as before. And here we get this little envelope right here. So right here, you pretty much don't get much. So what you get is the user manual and all the relevant documentation that come with it. And of course, you can't forget these blue stickers right here. One thing I noticed is that the power adapter is a little different, as this time Apple have included a 35-watt dual power adapter. Alright now, so the moment we've all been waiting for, so let's go ahead and unwrap this 15-inch MacBook Air. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Now that we've established how beautiful this really is, let's go ahead and open it up. As you can see, I opted for the midnight blue color, and as you guys may have probably noticed by now, it is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but I just really love that color option. The first thing I noticed is how lightweight this machine really is. I was really expecting it to be more heavy. Taking a first look at the 15-inch MacBook Air, it looks pretty much identical to the 13-inch model, but just bigger. And while the larger screen results in a larger body, Apple has done a good job of keeping it thin and reasonably light. As you can probably tell, Apple haven't really made any major design changes and have continued adopting the same design as the 13-inch MacBook Air, continuing to use the hinge design that feels sturdy, the keyboard, Force Touch features on the trackpad, and also I must note that the keyboard is still the same size as the 13-inch MacBook Air, but thanks to the increase in size, you can now rest your hands when typing, therefore giving you more breathing room. If we compare the dimensions of the 13-inch model and the 15-inch model, the difference is not large. I was actually expecting a huge difference in weight, but there's only a 0.6 pounds difference. There has been no new colour added to this year's MacBook Air series, so Apple have stuck with the midnight, starlight, silver and space grey colour options. I know I've addressed this before, but just admire how beautiful the midnight blue colour truly is. It displays a sheer elegance of class and I love that. It is a bit of a fingerprint magnet that requires a lot of cleaning. There has been no change in the display, so we will still have the liquid retina display delivering 500 nits of brightness with a P3 wide color gamut at a resolution of 2880 by 1664. But with this larger display, you can enjoy it a little more in my opinion. Apple have continued with Touch ID in the 15-inch model, although I was actually expecting them to replace it with Face ID. In regards to the ports, there are two Thunderbolt 4 USB ports, the MagSafe 3 port which comes with a connector that snaps into the port via magnets to charge. This is always nice to have as accidents can happen, and having that will minimize any potential damage to the port or laptop. You can also charge it via USB-C port, so you at least have some flexibility. There's a 3.5mm headphone jack right here, which is always nice to have. The larger body has allowed for Apple to include 6 speakers with force cancelling woofers, with support for spatial audio when playing music or video with Dolby Atmos on built-in speakers. I tried playing some songs and it really did not disappoint. The performance specs of the 15-inch MacBook Air sticks pretty close to the 13-inch model from last year. It comes with an 8-core CPU, a 10-core GPU, and 8GB of unified memory that can be modified and increased up to 24GB. The only difference is that all the 15-inch models have a 10-core GPU, whereas last year's 13-inch has an 8-core GPU. Aside from that, there really is no major difference. Based on the numbers and my usage so far, it has been perfect for day-to-day tasks and even for more demanding work like video editing. However, I was actually expecting a performance leap over last year's 13-inch model, but nonetheless I will be testing it out more to see how well it performs when pushing this laptop further. In regards to the battery, Apple promises up to 15 hours of wireless web browsing and 18 hours of video playback, which is pretty much the same as the 13-inch version. However, I will be putting it to the test to see how well it holds up in my upcoming in-depth review. It's also worth noting that the base model of the 13-inch MacBook Air comes with a 30-watt USB-C power adapter, while all models of the 15-inch MacBook Air come with a 35-watt dual USB-C port power adapter, which can also be configured to a 70-watt USB-C adapter when you order the laptop for no extra charge. To sum up, there aren't any major changes which have been made aside from the display and overall size of the laptop, as well as the addition of force cancelling subwoofers, and both versions of the 15-inch model come with a 10-core GPU as standard. When looking at the numbers, the 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Air are pretty much identical. The choice of which is best for you really comes down to how important the larger screen really is. If you want an immersive experience while watching movies or listening to music on the really cool speaker setup, or are someone who works on multiple windows simultaneously, then the 15-inch is worth the price increase, especially since all models of the 15-inch MacBook Air come with a 35-watt dual USB-C power adapter with the option to opt for a 70-watt USB-C adapter when you order the laptop at no extra charge. It's also worth noting that the 13-inch MacBook Air, which launched last year for only $100 less, with a smaller screen and less capable GPU in the base model. However, after announcing the new 15-inch MacBook Air, Apple cut the price of the 13-inch model, making it more affordable and worth considering if you don't need the bigger screen. And if portability is at the top of your priority list, then go for the 13-inch model, which now offers even better value for money due to the recent price drop. It must be noted that these are just my first impressions, and I will be doing a more in-depth review to see how well it performs in real life scenarios. And if you guys are interested, I may even do a student edition review to see whether this laptop is worth considering. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I'll hopefully catch you guys on the next one. Take care.